On November 12th, I told you that Trae Young was going to be out versus the Boston Celtics. And just being quite honest, I wasn't necessarily sure if the Atlanta Hawks was going to pull out an upset win in the TD Garden, but they did it in extraordinary fashion. And I am excited for the Atlanta Hawks, man, because that was a really, really big win. And I'm excited for these guys, man. What's going on, everybody? My name is Walter Pollard. Welcome to Atlanta Hawks Digest. We have got to dive into it all because that was a statement win by the Atlanta Hawks. Very impressive. And we're just going to break it down. We're going to talk about all of the things, of course, what I said, what actually happened in the game. And also, too, we're going to point out the fact that this is the start of the NBA Cup group play. Let's be clear. The group play starts, you know what I'm saying? Of course, the group play begins and they have to, have the wins or whatnot to move on or advance forward to the knockout round. And after the knockout round, you have the best four and they play for the NBA Cup, the Emirates NBA Cup. So we already know the Atlanta Hawks are starting out in a good place. They're 5-7 on the season so far. They got back at the Boston Celtics, which I am completely happy, and they are going to be taking on the Washington Wizards this Friday at Atlanta. Well, in Atlanta at StateFarm Arena. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it because we got to talk about a lot of stuff. We have to talk about the keys to the team. It was a team win. It was ultimately a team win by the Atlanta Hawks, and I couldn't have been more proud of the Atlanta Hawks. Okay, we got to talk about it now. I said that it was going to take Jalen Johnson to start the team offensively. I said that Dyson Daniels, he should lead the team defensively because of all of the things that he's done so far this season. So I had big expectations from Dyson Daniels defensively. Zaccharie Risacher, I expected for him to definitely have an impact coming, starting the game for sure. And then on top of that, rebounding. I wanted the team to make sure that they limit the opportunities for the Celtics to create points on the offensive end. Also, this is on the Celtics offensive end as well as creating issues for them on the defense, on the Celtics defensive end, making sure that you clean up the boards and making sure that you can actually get the second chance points, limiting their chances. You dig what I'm saying? But optimizing yours. And that is exactly what Atlanta did. They did more in some areas, and I'm going to point that out. But, man, just all in all, I was excited because, again, it was a great team win by the Atlanta Hawks, and I could not be more proud. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. Let's go into the game review. The Celtics, their shooting was to be expected. You dig what I'm saying? The Celtics shooting was to be expected because they are the Celtics. They had high percentage as far as shooting the basketball. They had opportunities because, again, it wasn't as if the Atlanta Hawks blew out the Celtics or they, had an extraordinary lead at the end of the game, or you dig what I'm saying? It was more of the Celtics being the Celtics, but the Atlanta Hawks sticking in there and creating an opportunity for them to win the game. The Hawks crushed the Celtics on a lot of other important statistics. You dig what I'm saying? Of course, with the rebounding, the Atlanta Hawks out-rebounded the Celtics 45-34. Now, on another note, Jalen Johnson, he actually led the Hawks as far as 13 rebounds and all, but 10 rebounds on the defensive end. So that was major. Again, we out-assisted the Celtics 35-28, and we also stole the Celtics 16-7. Now, again, looking at all of these stats, it tells me exactly what I said in my prior video. You wanted to, on the Hawks defensive end, take away the ball, take away their possessions. It's almost like in football when there's almost like a defensive battle and somehow some team finds a way to stop offensive production and they play keep away. And that's essentially what the Atlanta Hawks did, but they were gritty and they got after the Celtics. Again, out-rebounding the guys 45-34. You dig what I'm saying? On either side of the ball, you're optimizing your opportunity to get points, get possessions, and the Atlanta Hawks did that. They had the possession more. They won the possession battle against the Celtics. And then also, too, the turnover battle, 16 turnovers and 7 turnovers for the Celtics. It was amazing. And, again, that's just what I I enjoyed seeing for the Atlanta Hawks, man. Now, big time for Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson, he recorded a triple-double. He's actually the second youngest power forward to do that, which is to score a triple-double in TD Garden. He actually had 18 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists. So, again, major shout-out to Jalen Johnson for doing what he did because that's just awesome. And, again, I wanted to bring up how, off the bench, you dig what I'm saying? Larry Nance off the bench was doing an awesome job. 27 minutes, 19 points. Onyeka Okongwu, who actually had the last game-winning shot versus the Celtics, 31 minutes off of the bench with 15 points. So again, all-around production from everyone. It was a team effort. Like I said before, it needed to be a team effort, and the Hawks had to play 4 full quarters. And that is exactly what they did. But major shout out to Dyson Daniels again for having a breakout game, a career game for this young man. And I've said it prior to this show. I said it prior to the last show. I've said it. Dyson Daniels has said that he wanted to make sure that he was in the talks for Defensive Player of the Year, as well as, he wanted to make first team All-NBA on the defensive end. So he is on the way. 28 points, 6 steals, 7 assists, 3 rebounds. Major deal for this young man. He is the leader in steals in the NBA and the youngest player in NBA history to have 6 steals in the span of 3 straight games. So he has 6 steals in 3 straight games. Okay, you do the math. This man is doing a good job, and that's actually the most since Allen Iverson back in 2003. So I have so many other things that I could talk about in regards to the Hawks because I am, happy that these guys won, and I want to make sure that we're all happy, you know what I'm saying, going forward this season. But we got to talk about how they have basically won this game as a team, and they did an awesome job. Really quick, some housekeeping notes, man. Kobe Buffkin and Vic Krejci, they were actually seen on a shoot-around prior to tip-off. Hopefully that is a good sign for things to come because, of course, Coach Snyder, he was found talking to the press, and they were asking him as far as how many guards have been out and haven't been playing for the Atlanta Hawks and how it's been weighing on the Atlanta Hawks. Of course, I mentioned earlier that they have an influx of bigs, a lot of 4s, a lot of 5s, but of course with the ones, the point guards, the shooting guards, it's almost as if the injury bug is getting very specific as far as what he wants to choose. And so with all of that being said, Coach Snyder actually said that it's almost like being on a football team and you don't have any quarterbacks going into the game. And so, of course, he used that analogy, but ultimately he's saying that he's missing the leaders on his team. He's missing Trae Young, and if Trae Young's not in, he's definitely leaning on Vic Krejci and Kobe Buffkin. So, of course, it is very strenuous. But I have to mention, before I go any further, major shout out to Keaton Wallace filling in for Trae Young. Of course, he is a two-way player. So, of course, he's been down playing with the Atlanta Skyhawks down in College Park, the College Park Skyhawks, let me be specific. So him being a two-way player, he's been able to come back and forth, and he's been able to fill in and help the Atlanta Hawks with what they needed to do, which is to get a big win versus the world champion Boston Celtics. So with all of that, the Atlanta Hawks, again, big statement win, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because the Washington Wizards, they're coming into town, and just like they had a major loss versus the Celtics prior to this one, they've had 2 losses versus the Boston Celtics. 2 back-to-back losses to the Celtics, so not the Celtics, but to the Washington Wizards. So it's not a good look for the Atlanta Hawks, and they want to get on the right side of this. This will be the second game in group play, so not only could the Atlanta Hawks make some advancements in the NBA Cup, but they can also get some revenge on these guys, man. 2 losses, and it's the only 2 losses that this team has. They're 2-8. They are 2-8, so let's not act as if this is a game that the Atlanta Hawks cannot win. And just to also mention, Trae Young has also been updated or upgraded to day-by-day or day-to-day, or what is it? He's a game-time decision. So there's an opportunity for Trae Young to possibly play in this game as well. So let's get it, Atlanta. I would definitely love for these guys to get back on the winning side of things and actually get some type of consistency going forward, because we know that the Atlanta Hawks have the possibility of winning. They have the ability of winning, because it's always possible to win. But they have the ability to win. And we should see that more consistently, especially as people start to return back from the injury list. We definitely expect Bogdan Bogdanović to be back sooner than later. DeAndre Hunter, he could be back any moment. And hopefully Trae Young, without pushing himself or overly exerting himself in any way, he could possibly be back as well. So stick with me, guys. I will be here for more updates coming up, specifically after this game on Friday. But make sure that you guys are here following me on Hawks Digest. Peace.